Hi. So 2020 is this crazy time that we're dealing with right now, and there's so much funny stuff rolling around in my head. I know I haven't been on the comedy stage or been on a video in a little while, but it's just so funny. I had to get it out, and some of the stuff I've commented on Facebook along the way. So some of you who follow me on Facebook might be like, we've heard it," but it's just really funny to me. So I had to share. First off, let's talk about my doctor's appointment about a month ago. So I go in because I have all these symptoms, right? And she does all the tests on me, and she comes back. She goes, "I'm so happy to tell you, you have strep throat." Never in my life has a doctor ever been so happy about strep throat. Usually it's like, "Oh man, I got strep throat." But that is the world that 2020 has given us. That's just a few things. Think about this. Now, when we have 10 rolls of toilet paper left, we're freaking out. "Oh my gosh, we better go to the store and get more toilet paper." Like, what is that, right? Or do you remember a time when you could just grab your wallet and your keys and your phone and you're out the door? And now it's more like you need to have your mask. Don't forget your mask. You need to have hand sanitizer because you never know what you're going to be touching. Might want to bring a measuring tape because you got to know how far 6 feet apart is, right? Maybe some mace and some riot control gear because, things are a little crazy in some cities. And you better bring your credit card because a lot of places now are not taking cash. Yeah, so that's the world we're living in. And then we have the whole is it FTF or Zoom? New words for the new decade, right? So, which speaking of Zoom meetings are funny, right? Okay, so first there's always that one person who will not put it on mute, right? So you hear the dog barking and you hear the baby crying and their face keeps popping up because they're got noise, and so it goes away from the speaker and now it's on them because they won't mute. And even though the speaker will come on and say, "Would everybody please mute themselves?" there's always that one person who won't. Or there's that person that's just so close that you can totally see that they need to pluck their nose hairs. Yeah, there's that person too, right? And then at the very end, there's always the person that's like, well, not person, everybody waves at the end of the meeting. And I think, like, how funny would that be if we were all sitting in a board meeting and everybody's waving at each other at the end of the meeting? And our attire, let's talk about our attire. Um, it's like a mullet. You remember the 1980s mullet, Uh, we look really nice and professional up top, right? Right now I have a nice shirt on, I have my makeup on, my hair's combed, all that, right? But below, I'm totally wearing PJs right now, right? So it's like a mullet in that it's total professional and business up top and total party and lay down on below, um, so definitely a new world of meetings and life and business as we know it. The other thing that's really funny to me is how it's totally socially acceptable to avoid people, right? You're walking down the sidewalk like this, and you see someone coming, right? And they go way out of their way to avoid you. Now, before I would have been like, "Oh my gosh, do I stink? What's wrong with me? Like, why are they avoiding me?" Now it's like totally acceptable um, to do that. And it's kind of rude, but it is a thing that we're doing now. What's funny is when someone doesn't adhere to that. I'm at Walmart. Surprise, surprise, it was at Walmart. And this person's like getting all up in my space. And I'm like, "Dude, like, back off, you know?" And I looked at him like several times, and I finally had to say something because he was right up on me. And I said, "Sir, we're supposed to be like, 6 feet apart." And he just looks at me, nods and smiles. And I'm like, "I seriously need to carry around a 6 feet sword so when they get into my bubble, I can pop theirs." I'm just saying. Yeah, stay out of people's bubbles, people, because we need our 6 feet apart. But what's funny is how much culture has changed on, the different ways that we handshake, the elbow and the ankle. And like, we need some new creative ways to be like, some kind of Star Trek thing where we say hi to people like this or something, so that we don't have to touch each other in any ways. What's really funny, and hopefully my church won't be mad at me for saying this, but it was really funny to me when the pandemic first started and they started just starting to close things down. The churches were still allowed to meet and all that. My church put out a video that said, "Come to our church. We're a church of huggers." And I was like, "Oh no, take that down, take that down." We've definitely come to a new age where hugging in church may be a thing in the past. I don't know. It's very strange because I go to a hugging church, but we'll see what happens. Other things that has changed is like how you fix yourself, right? Like, I am an 80s girl. I wear lipstick, and I keep putting lipstick on, which is so stupid because I put a mask over it and nobody sees it except for me and the inside of my mask. Um, but it's just the way we live, and it makes me wonder, like, the lipstick industry must be going way down and the mascara industry going way up, right? Because you got to do everything with your eyeballs. I'm telling you, this whole mask thing has been so hard for me. I'm all about it, but I'm claustrophobic. And the other day, it's like 100 and I don't know 4 or 3 or something outside, and my glasses are fogging up with my mask on, and my hair is all whipping around because it's super windy here in Plainview, and it's super hot outside. And I'm carrying 2 bags to the car, and then I drop my keys, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like it's like visibility -10, panic 110. So awful to live in that world, but that is the world that I live in. But yeah, it's a crazy time, and I'm going to be teaching in a mask in the fall. Not looking forward to that. So I had to go get contacts because I'm like, oh my gosh, I'll be so disoriented with the fogginess. But we are living in a new world. So those are my funny, crazy, silly thoughts for 2020. Just had to share them, get them out of me, and there they are. Have a great day. Take care.